You want to know how a computer can act like a database, a virtual assistant, a customer service representative, all at one time using one simple software? Stay tuned. We're going to jump inside of the computer and take a look at VectorShift and show you exactly how it's done. All right, guys, we are inside of the laptop right now, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I'm bringing you on the inside of a software called VectorShift. But before I get into what everything VectorShift can do, the main thing I want to outline is that this software can actually serve as an intelligent chatbot. It uses AI to actually decipher and answer and respond to input, whether that be through chatbots on websites, as you can see here, automation, and then it actually can store files about your company to learn how your company works, right? So in other words, the AI within the software can actually you can upload these files into it. It'll learn what the file says, whether that be PDF, audio, video files, and it'll start learning about your business and the ins and outs of your business, right? So it starts to become intelligent and to be able to become an assistant in the business, okay? So we're gonna actually jump into a couple of actual scenarios so you can see what the software is, how it works, and how it can actually help you. Now, again, I'm gonna use this account. This is just a test account, but I'm gonna use this as an example or show you how it works. So we have like a test pipeline up here. So what we can do, actually create a new pipeline, and this new pipeline will be kind of like our new test scenario so you can see how everything works. All right, so let's jump in and actually do some practical stuff so you can see how this can save you a ton of time and help you get more organized and make smarter decisions. So let's jump in right now. If we go in and put, let's say, for example, create a new pipeline. Now, you have all these templates. So if you've never used a platform similar to this, a lot of these templates may or may not make any sense to you. So it's fine. You don't have to use any of the templates. What we'll do for this example is we're just going to go ahead and create one from scratch. Okay. So, let's see. So we actually have a test account. So let's go back and look at our pipeline. Let's look at the test pipeline so you can see I created a pipeline here. We called it untitled. I'm just going to put test pipeline so you guys can understand what it actually means. All right, so now if we go in and I click on this pipeline and I hit edit, this is the end result of the pipeline. So before we go there, let's go back and let's actually go to files. So files is where you can drag and drop different files that relate to the business. Now, the dope thing about this is you don't just have to drag and drop one type of file. So I could do a video file, I could do a PDF file, I could do, an audio file, and I could drop those into here. And once I drop a file in here, let's just use one, who knows? Let's just do a file, we'll just do this. You can always remove the files as well, right? Now, once that file's in here, it becomes a part of the database, and now I can pull from this whenever I need to pull from it, okay? So you could go through and update all of these files in here, okay? Another module they have here is knowledge. So the knowledge base, you would normally have to create a knowledge base, right? A knowledge base is think of this as a digital file cabinet, right? So we have a digital file cabinet. Let's say I have 20 documents on everything that has to do with how to work my business, right? I can create that knowledge base here, and I would call it whatever I want to call it. Let's just see if it'll let us create a second test knowledge base. So we're going to say test knowledge, and you don't have to change the chunk size, chunk overlap. That's a little bit more advanced. We're not going to get into that. Or the Amplify keyword, which is API related. You don't need to touch any of this. So you create, you gotta go back. So we're gonna have to use our actual test one up here. So again, you create it the same way. Let's use one we already created previous to the video, and we'll hit edit. Now, you can add documents similar to the way you add files. Now, here's the cool thing about this. When you add documents to a knowledge base, you can do it 4 different ways, or 3 different ways. You can scrape a URL, so a URL that talks about your business, and say you have a website or a landing page. You can scrape that URL. Anything that's on that website or anything that's on that landing page, it will scrape that data and put it into your knowledge base. So that's huge. So if you have a 30-page, 40-page website, you can put the URL in here. It will grab it, and that becomes a part of your knowledge base. So as you can see, one of our branded websites, I just put it here. And now it's saved everything that's on that website. It's pulled all the data from there. Another way you could do that is you could do an integration. So if I click the integration, I could click select. So I didn't do this here. I saved this kind of option for the video. I have a Google Drive account. So I could click select, and I could say I want to do a particular folder on here, right? I don't have any particular folder. Let's say I could do a particular folder on here, and that folder, I actually have everything in that folder in my knowledge base in Google Drive, right? So as you can see right here, that integration shows up. Now, anything that I put, let's say if I click on this, I will delete this or whatever. But if whatever folder I selected, anything in that folder, in that Google Drive folder, if I upload a new document into that Google Drive folder, it becomes a part of my knowledge base automatically. If I subtract, if I take it out, it becomes a part of my knowledge base automatically, right? So it updates in real time. So if you save all of your documents related to the business or several separate documents under the business in Google Drive, you literally can just integrate your Google Drive here. It will read everything in that Google Drive folder, and now it's available for your actual knowledge base. The third option you could do is you could just manually upload files. Once again, as we saw, I could manually upload a file, a bunch of different types of files. Let's just we can just choose any file that we want to do. And let's just do this one. This is just a PDF. And now I'll have this PDF here. And it becomes a part of the files that I have here. Now remember, I already added this privacy notice file here under files. So if I already have done a ton of files and it's saved in here, I don't even have to go through this when it gets time to do the knowledge base. All I have to do is just say, click. These are the files I want to be a part of this. And then I just click back out of it, right? So now I have files, boom. All of this I can pull from in my database, right? Now, I'm not gonna go through a ton of different files, putting a bunch of files down here because obviously we don't have to do that. But I wanna show you where this makes sense. Now, if I go back to pipelines, we got a test pipeline here, right? So what does all this mean? This is cool, we got it saved, we got everything structured. But what we have done so far is gather the information we already have and put it in one central location inside of the software so that the AI has access to it. So now I go here to edit, and literally what I've done is build out how I want this thing to work. Now, don't let this diagram overwhelm you, right? Because it's really not that difficult. Input is the first thing we put in here. Input just means what is it that the person is going to be asking in this scenario, or what is it you're going to be asking? What question? What do you want? What do you need? That's the input box. So you would drag an input box and you would put it here. Okay. Now, the second thing you want to put is it's going to be your knowledge base, because when I put an input in, I'm saying, okay, I want to get an answer, but where am I getting the information from? So this is where we go to knowledge base. All right, so then I could take this and I would drag my knowledge base here, boom, and that'd be where basically, let me see if I can do it here. I would just drop down, boom, and see I created that knowledge base momentum marketing, and that's where I would put it, my knowledge base read. So I have a knowledge base there, right? Now, if I go and look at LLMs, this is where I need to know, well, what AI software am I going to use to actually read, decipher, make decisions in order to use this? So I just took a simple, I used ChatGPT, which is the OpenAI owns ChatGPT. So that's the LLM I'm going to use. So that's basically the brains I'm going to use, right? This is the brains I'm going to use. Bam. All right, now that's exactly what we did here. Now, we already done it, so I'm going to delete this, okay? So now it's going to ask a couple different things. Prompt means input. So what question do you want to ask ChatGPT in this scenario? Okay, this underneath the prompt, this is the question. I'm telling ChatGPT that I want you to answer the question using this context to help. Now, what is context? Okay, context. We go back here. The context is going to be based on the knowledge base. Now, what do you mean by that, Steve? All right, this big block is the brain. Input means what question are you going to ask me at input? Everybody see input. Boom. What question are you going to ask me? Then the prompt saying, answer the question using this context. So answer the question that's going to be here using what brain, what knowledge? Where are you getting these answers from? Oh, I'm getting that from my knowledge base, all of my files. So I want to answer whatever question you put here based on what's in my file cabinet. All right, so AI, I want you can only answer based on what's in my file cabinet. Okay? Now, that we have input and context, so we know what that means. I selected what I wanted, which is the ChatGPT version I have, okay? And then we're gonna have a response, which you would have to go put your output, right? Output is just answer. What is the answer to this question, right? So I put output here. Bam, so now we have output. And we want it in text. We don't want an image. We don't want a file, audio. We want in text. We want to keep it simple, right? So output 1. All right, cool. Now, you said, all right, Steve, so now we got a very simple, may not look simple to you if it's the first time, but a very simple question, module, or node, whatever you want to call it, that can take information we ask it, grab data from our file cabinet, our digital file cabinet, interpret it using our AI, and answer that question. And give us the answer right here, right? So let's go back out, and if we had changes, we would hit deploy changes, but we didn't make any changes here. I just followed through. All right, so stick with me. We're almost to the good part, all right? So now we're going to go to Chatbot. We're going to use Chatbot as the test. Okay, so I want you guys to follow this. More than one way you can do input and output, but Chatbot is going to be very easy. So let's imagine we have a chatbot on your website. Pops up and says, hey, how may I help you? So just imagine you have a website, chatbot pops up and says, hey, how may I help you? So somebody's going to type in a question in. I go to configure chatbot, and you're going to see all this stuff on the left. Now, I'm looking at pipeline. Okay, test pipeline is what I have. Disclaimer. Now, if you have a company disclaimer, you know, this information is based upon approval. Whatever you want to put here if you have a company disclaimer, right? Message limit per conversation. We're not going to mess with that. We're going to basically leave everything here pretty standard. So we're not going to mess with this too much, Okay. Now, if I go over and I do, all right, guys. So we add the test chatbot. So I'm gonna do a couple different things. I'm gonna do run. Let's test this chatbot based on everything we just did. So we hit run. We're gonna test it. So I put the website in there. I put Google Drive in there, so I could think of some questions I could ask it based on those files. So let's go with the question. Let's say, how, what? Let's say what kind of services does let's try this one. Let's see. Off the top of my head, based on everything, and we say, what kind of services does Moment Marketing provide, which is a company? Let's go ahead and just hit bam. Let that assistant think. Test our chatbot out. Let it think a little bit. Oh, boom. So now we got, what do we have? Facebook store set up. Industries you work with. Done for you. Google and YouTube ads. Facebook. So these are all things that you can pull from our website. You can pull from our landing page. And it actually answers in a very structured manner. So imagine I have this chatbot on any of my maybe it could be appointment website, it could be just a general website, and I asked this. Okay, now let's say if I asked a more specific question, like I say, I could have said, does momentum marketing help with Facebook ads? I can put this here, bam. Let the system work again, let it cook. The system says, yes, momentum marketing does help with Facebook ads on the website. It lists under services indicating that they provide assistance with advertising on these platforms. Okay. So again, these are just simple questions I'm adding, but all of these answers come off of that chart we just went through, which is our knowledge base. And I kept it very simple, very high level. We could have pulled other data that would have allowed us to ask even more detailed questions, right? So if for example, I would pull something up that might have had pricing on there, I could ask how much pricing. I could say, can I book an appointment? I don't know if that's on here. I could have put the, can I book an appointment with, this may or may not be on here, but let's just kind of give you some realistic questions, all right? We'll see. I'm testing this in real time. So it says, hey, yes, you can book an appointment with Moment Marketing. You can schedule a call by visiting their website and clicking on the book a call link. Here's the direct link. Bam. So think about that. We've been on here for about 15 minutes. We just created a chatbot using some files that can essentially answer 85% of the common questions that somebody would ask if they were on our website using a chatbot. So with that minimal use of effort, we can do that. All right, so that's how that works. So it's pretty incredible. It actually kind of replaces just a customer service rep that might have to answer these very simple questions, but questions that can be answered quickly on the website. Now, when you go back to chatbot, it gives you the options here. If I do export, now I can embed this. Now, this is just code for a site. So all you need is a web developer, or if you understand how to do WordPress, Wix, whatever, Shopify, you can put these codes on your website, and that little assistant will pop up and answer your questions, right? But what's even better is I can connect this to Slack, and if I have my own team, I can create a chat bot. If you're a business owner, this is where this is critical. Super critical. I can connect to my Slack. I can create that chat bot inside of my Slack internally for my team. So instead of them messaging me all day long with certain questions about the business, I put all the knowledge base documents in the knowledge base, put that inside of Slack, and I say, whenever you guys have a question about something, put your question in here in Slack, and into this particular chatbot, and it'll pull up your training, it'll pull up your SOPs, it'll pull up all of this stuff. You don't need to ask me directly unless something is missing. So as a business owner, on my part, it's my responsibility to put all the documents in the knowledge base so they have access to everything that they need as team members or employees, when they don't have to constantly reach out to you for things. Now, this is extreme. If you understand things as a business owner, this is extremely important, extremely useful. Okay, you could do this for WhatsApp, SMS. You can set up a text chatbot to where somebody can text 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and ask a question, and they'll get the same answer. API export, it's a little bit more detailed, but that's basically where you're going to take this code and you're going to place a chatbot on a little bit more advanced platforms, right? But these three are extremely useful. Websites, internally with Slack, Twilio. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to put a link in the caption. Make sure to like and subscribe if you got this far. But I'm going to put a link in the caption that actually talks about where you can sign up for VectorShift. So it's a really good tool. It's super simple to use, no code required. You can spend, I say, if you're a beginner, you can spend an hour setting simple things like this up. And you can really save hours and hours of time. You can really improve the level of customer service in your business, just using some simple tools like this to keep yourself organized. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to comment below, hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next video. This is Steve with Momentum Marketing Tips. Talk to you soon.